the untold truth about Norwegian beauty. There's something they don't tell you in travel guides about Norway. Walk through Oslo on a summer evening, and you'll witness something that stops foreign visitors in their tracks. The women here possess an almost otherworldly quality. Tall, confident, with striking features that seem carved by the same forces that shaped the fjords themselves. But here's what makes it truly fascinating. These aren't women who rely on makeup or pretend to be something they're not. They embrace natural beauty with a confidence that comes from living in one of the world's most progressive societies. And yes, that unusual sleeping tradition exists, but we'll get to that shocking reality soon enough. First, you need to understand the land that creates such extraordinary people. A kingdom carved by ice and time, Norway stretches along the western edge of Scandinavia like a dragon's spine, covering over 385,000 square kilometers of some of Earth's most dramatic terrain. This is a nation where nearly 50,000 islands dot the coastline, creating a maritime border so jagged and complex that if you stretched it straight, it would circle the planet more than twice. The country shares land borders with Sweden, Finland, and even Russia in the far north, making it a bridge between Western Europe and the Arctic frontier. What makes Norway truly unique in Europe is its position. While most European nations huddle together in relatively flat, accessible terrain, Norway rises vertically from the sea, with mountains that plunge directly into waters so deep and cold they seem to hold secrets from the Ice Age itself. The entire western coast is a masterpiece of geological violence, where glaciers spent millions of years carving valleys that the ocean later flooded, creating the famous fjords. But there's something strange about Norway's geography that affects everything from its people to its economy, and it explains why Norwegians developed such unusual social customs. The midnight sun and eternal darkness. Picture this. You're standing in northern Norway in June, checking your watch at midnight, and the sun is still blazing in the sky. Not setting, not rising, just hanging there like someone paused reality itself. This is the land of the midnight sun, where for months each year, darkness never comes. But flip the calendar to December, and the opposite happens. The sun dips below the horizon and refuses to return for weeks. Total darkness at noon. This extreme phenomenon doesn't just affect the landscape. It shapes the Norwegian psyche in profound ways. During those endless summer days, Norwegians transform. They become almost frantic with energy, squeezing every possible moment of outdoor life from the light. Cafes overflow at midnight. Hikers climb mountains at 2 a.m. It's as if the entire nation is making up for something. And they are. Because when winter's darkness arrives, it brings with it a quiet intensity that foreigners find either meditative or maddening. This cycle created a culture that values both wild celebration and deep introspection. And it's one reason why Norwegian social customs can seem so contradictory to outsiders. The fjord mystery that changed everything. Geirangerfjord and Narrowifjord aren't just pretty waterways. These UNESCO World Heritage Sites represent something that fundamentally shaped Norwegian identity. Imagine living in a place where your neighbor is 3 hours away by boat but 30 minutes as the crow flies, except there's a 1,000-meter mountain in between. For centuries, Norwegian communities developed in isolation from each other, separated by geography so extreme that different valleys created their own dialects, traditions, and ways of life. This isolation forced Norwegians to become radically self-reliant while simultaneously depending on their immediate community for survival. Here's where it gets interesting. This geographic isolation created a social structure unlike anywhere else in Europe. Without the rigid class hierarchies of continental Europe, Norwegian communities developed a fierce egalitarianism. Everyone's contribution mattered because survival demanded it. This history directly led to modern Norway becoming the world leader in gender equality, which brings us closer to that bedroom tradition that's raising your eyebrows right now. The Viking legacy nobody talks about. Everyone knows Vikings raided and explored, but here's what they don't teach in school. The Viking Age wasn't just about violence. It was about women who ran farms and businesses while men were away for years. Archaeological evidence from Norwegian Viking sites reveals something remarkable. Women held property rights, could divorce their husbands, and managed complex trading operations. One burial site near Oslo contained a Viking woman buried with a ship, weapons, and enough wealth to indicate she was either a warrior, a merchant queen, or both. This wasn't an anomaly. Norwegian women have held unusual power and independence for over 1,000 years. The Viking tradition of female autonomy never really disappeared. It just evolved. While the rest of Europe locked women away in domestic servitude, Norwegian women maintained their status, their voices, and their freedom. This ancient foundation explains why modern Norway consistently ranks as the world's best country for gender equality. But it also explains some social customs that shock conservative visitors. The mountain plateau where reality changes. Stand on the Hardangervidda, Europe's largest mountain plateau, and you'll understand why Norwegians think differently. This vast, windswept expanse covers 8,000 square kilometers of absolutely nothing. Just tundra, sky, and silence so complete you can hear your own heartbeat. Norwegians consider this beautiful. They vacation here deliberately. This cultural appreciation for emptiness and solitude runs so deep that Norway invented a concept called friluftsliv, which roughly translates to open-air living but means something more profound. It's a philosophy that spiritual connection comes from nature, not from human constructs. Every Norwegian, from toddlers to retirees, practices friluftsliv regularly. They hike in brutal weather. They sleep in basic mountain cabins with no electricity. They embrace discomfort as a path to authenticity. This isn't just recreation. It's a national identity, and it creates people who are simultaneously warm and reserved, community-oriented yet fiercely independent. The cabin culture phenomenon. Here's something that will blow your mind. The average Norwegian family doesn't just own a home. They own a hut, a cabin in the mountains or by a fjord, and they use it constantly. We're not talking about luxury vacation homes. These are often basic structures without running water or electricity, and Norwegians prefer them that way. Families spend weekends and holidays in these cabins, hiking, skiing, and living simply. But here's the twist. These cabins are where Norwegian social rules completely transform. The formality and reserve that characterizes Norwegian urban life vanishes in the mountains. In cabin culture, neighbors share meals, tell stories late into the night, and yes, sometimes share sleeping spaces in ways that would shock more conservative cultures. This isn't about romance or scandal. It's about a pragmatic approach to survival and community that traces back to those isolated fjord communities. The truth about Norwegian women and equality. Now we address what brought you here, but understand the context first matters enormously. Norway didn't just wake up one day and decide women and men were equal. This equality was forged through 1,000 years of women managing farms, boats, and businesses in one of Earth's harshest environments. Modern Norwegian women are the inheritors of Viking shield maidens and frontier farmers. They're educated at higher rates than men, hold nearly half of all corporate board positions by law, and serve in combat roles in the military. But here's what really sets them apart. Norwegian women possess an almost shocking level of comfort with themselves and their bodies. In a culture where mixed-gender saunas are completely normal and where children grow up seeing nudity as natural rather than sexual, the result is women who move through the world without the self-consciousness that plagues women in more conservative societies. They're direct, they're confident, and they approach relationships with a straightforwardness that foreign men often misinterpret. The sleeping tradition that shocks the world. Here's the moment. That unusual tradition you've been wondering about. In Norwegian cabin culture, and particularly during hiking trips to mountain lodges, there exists a practice that seems impossible to outsiders. DNT, the Norwegian Trekking Association, operates hundreds of mountain cabins across Norway. During peak season, these cabins fill beyond capacity with hikers. The sleeping arrangement, large communal rooms with mattresses side by side, and yes, strangers of all genders sleep in the same room, often mere inches apart. To Norwegians, this is completely unremarkable. There's no sexual tension, no scandal, no drama. It's simply the practical solution to providing shelter in the mountains. But here's what makes it work. The context is everything. These aren't bars or nightclubs. They're refuges after 8 hours of brutal hiking. Everyone is exhausted, focused on rest, and operating within a cultural framework where bodies aren't automatically sexualized. The unspoken rules are ironclad. You respect boundaries. You mind your own space. You understand that survival and community transcend individual discomfort. This practice represents something profound about Norwegian culture, a fundamental trust in social contracts and a comfort with the human body that most cultures have lost. The Arctic city that shouldn't exist. Tromsø sits 350 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, yet thrives as a vibrant city of 75,000 people. This shouldn't be possible. At this latitude, most places are desolate research stations or indigenous villages. But Tromsø has universities, nightlife, and a cultural scene that rivals cities 10 times its size. Why? The Gulf Stream. This ocean current carries warm water from the Caribbean all the way to Norway's coast, creating a climate miracle that makes Norwegian coastal cities livable despite their extreme northern position. Without this accident of ocean currents, Norway as we know it wouldn't exist. But Tromsø represents something else. It's the gateway to the Arctic, a launching point for polar expeditions, and home to the world's northernmost university, brewery, and cathedral. The people here embrace the darkness and the light with equal enthusiasm. During polar night, the city comes alive with festivals, Northern Lights tours, and a determination to thrive despite the absence of sun. The oil secret that changed everything. In 1969, Phillips Petroleum discovered the Ekofisk oil field in Norwegian waters, and everything changed. A relatively poor fishing nation suddenly controlled massive oil reserves. But here's what makes Norway different from every other oil-rich nation. They didn't squander it. The Norwegian government created a sovereign wealth fund that now holds over $1.4 trillion, roughly $250,000 or 230,000 euros for every Norwegian citizen. This fund invests globally and is designed to last centuries. The discipline required to save rather than spend this wealth reveals something fundamental about Norwegian character. They think in generations, not election cycles. But the oil wealth also created something unexpected. With economic anxiety removed, Norwegians could focus on quality of life, environmental protection, and social experimentation. This financial security enabled the progressive social policies that make Norway so unique today. The food culture revolution. Norwegian cuisine was historically bland survival food. Dried fish, potatoes, and preserved meats designed to last through brutal winters. But something remarkable happened in the last 2 decades. Norwegian chefs began reimagining traditional ingredients with modern techniques, creating a new Nordic cuisine that's taking the world by storm. Restaurants in Oslo now hold Michelin stars. Chefs forage for Arctic ingredients that grow nowhere else. Norwegian salmon, once a cheap commodity, became a luxury product. This culinary revolution reflects a broader Norwegian confidence. They're no longer content to imitate continental Europe. They're defining their own excellence, whether in food, design, or social policy. And visitors notice. Oslo has transformed from a quiet backwater into one of Europe's most dynamic capitals, with world-class museums, restaurants, and cultural institutions. The summer festival explosion. When the midnight sun arrives, Norway explodes with festivals that seem to release months of pent-up energy. The Bergen International Festival brings world-class music and art to the fjord city. The Lofoten Islands host summer concerts in Viking longhouses and on beaches under the midnight sun. These aren't small affairs. International artists perform for crowds that stretch into the Arctic wilderness. But what's fascinating is how these festivals reveal the Norwegian capacity for both wild celebration and orderly conduct. Even at music festivals with thousands of young people, you'll find minimal violence, voluntary cleanup crews, and a respect for shared space that seems almost utopian to visitors from other countries. This reflects that deep cultural trust that allows strangers to share sleeping quarters in mountain cabins. The real reason Norwegian happiness rankings are misleading. Norway consistently ranks among the world's happiest countries. But here's the truth. Norwegians aren't constantly smiling or outwardly joyous. They're satisfied. There's a difference. With free healthcare, free education, generous parental leave, and economic security, Norwegians don't experience the grinding anxiety that characterizes life in many countries. They can focus on relationships, nature, and personal growth rather than survival. But this also creates a reserved exterior that foreigners often mistake for coldness. Breaking into Norwegian social circles takes time. Norwegians have friend groups from childhood that they maintain for life. They don't easily adopt new members. Yet once you're in, your family. This loyalty and depth of relationship is something faster-paced cultures often lack. It's quality over quantity applied to human connection. The winter darkness survival strategy. How do Norwegians survive months of darkness without going insane? They've developed cultural strategies refined over centuries. First, they embrace hygge and koselig, concepts of cozy contentment through candles, warm drinks, and intimate gatherings. Norwegian homes during winter are sanctuaries of warmth and light. Second, they maintain brutal honesty about mental health. Seasonal depression is acknowledged and treated, not stigmatized. Third, they continue their outdoor activities regardless of conditions. Norwegians ski, hike, and bike in darkness, cold, and snow because stopping would mean surrendering to the environment. This resilience, this refusal to be defeated by nature, defines the Norwegian spirit. It's what allowed their ancestors to survive in this harsh land, and it's what allows their descendants to thrive today. Your turn to explore. So there you have it. 15 mind-blowing facts about Norway that reveal a country far more complex and fascinating than any travel brochure suggests. From the women who inherited Viking confidence to the sleeping traditions that shock the world. From the midnight sun to the oil wealth managed with remarkable discipline. This is a nation that took one of Earth's harshest environments and created one of its most successful societies. Now we want to hear from you. What city or country are you watching from right now? What surprised you most about Norway? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video valuable, smash that hype button and hit the like button. It's completely free and helps us create more content exploring the world's most incredible places. We genuinely appreciate every single one of you who does this. Finally, don't leave yet. Click on one of the suggested videos appearing on your screen right now to discover more amazing curiosities about countries and cultures you never knew existed. Trust us, you won't regret it. Until next time, keep exploring.